in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning, everybody. It's doing something weird here. Give me a second. See if it does it right. There we go. Now I did it correctly. I posted to a group. I'm going to post a live to a group. And as soon as I hit go live, I remembered I did not grab my fan. So guess what's going to happen next? Dear Lord. I'm sure everybody's very interested in the songs that I used to warm up. I finished with Babe, I'm Loving You by Zeppelin. Before that, it was House of Broken Love by Great White. Very high-pitched ones today. Gets my voice calibrated. Yeah, just something I use. A lot of people do different exercises. I'm not necessarily a professional, but I do the best that I can. Professional something. I don't know. Michelle says, happy day to you, Peas-on. It's not something I've been called before, but it rhymes with Dion, so why not? A lot of things rhyme with Dion. Most of what I heard was Peon Dion. Yeah, for my brothers. And I was a bedwetter. That's why it pissed me off. They knew what they were doing. Good to see you, Heather. Talking about progress, not perfection, or progress through perfection. Kind of depends on how you look at things, who you are. Both of these are valid. You know. But yeah, it's Saturday. Oh, you know what? The Broncos are playing today. What the hell am I doing? What the hell am I doing? I'll be right back. What the fuck's my problem? Jesus. There we go. That's better. That's better. Yeah. Put on my Shannon Sharp shirt. Thanks for waiting. Hey, let's go watch Dion's podcast while he grabs his fan because he forgot it again. Changing shirts. All right, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Oh, I'm kind of relaxed when it comes to this, man. I used to get pretty upset if somebody interrupted me, or even if there was a sound outside of the room. You know, ka-chirp, shut the fuck up. That was 7 years ago. Now I don't. Yeah, stuff happens. Guess what? This is not perfect. What's up?
I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. Now shut the damn door, would you? All right. Thanks. She just wants to be a shit. Yeah, so go start your own show. Yes, this is how we talk to each other. Not all the time. Okay. Hi. Somebody wants my attention. It's the cats. Can you see? Can you find the cat in the picture here? Can you see the kitty cat? All right. I don't have any reading for this, although we could utilize step 7. I haven't introduced myself yet. Like you don't know who I am. You're gonna miss the cat. He's leaving. Did you see him? There he goes. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm your host. If you're here, please say hello, whether watching the live or the rewatch. I'm glad you both are here today. Or this would have been my third strikeout. Would have been the third time going live with nobody. And that would make me feel lonely and sad. And then I would threaten to quit so everybody would show back up. I'm kidding. But it's funny because that's alcoholic behavior. That's why it's funny. So, do I not entertain you? I hope I do, at least a little bit. We need to have fun. If you really want to listen to a good one, go listen to Monty Man's stuff that I've been on. We've done really good. He does a great job with the flow of it. I'm kind of looking for something while I'm talking. Maybe it's in step 6. All right. So, oh my gosh. Dion did not do a very good job of, here we are. There we are. That's what I'm looking for. All right. So we are going to be in step 6. So we're going to start on page 67. Actually, let's go back to page 66. So before I get started reading, yeah, exactly, Heather. And who gets it more than fellow alcoholics? That's why it's funny. All right. Michelle says, you do have a pattern. Yes, I do things in certain orders here. Yeah. There's a, I think rhythm is a better word for it. There's a rhythm to things when you do this. I don't know if you notice, but every now and again, I just switch topic on you. I'll just talk about something totally different. Yeah. It's because I know that I'm losing you. You can only listen to me for so long before your brain starts doing other shit. I know this. I have you for about 7-8 minutes before I have to throw something weird in there. That's why we laugh. That's why the cats are around. That's why I get the fan. That's why, this stuff just happens. It's the way that it's supposed to be. What it won't be is perfect. But what I will do is utilize perfection in order to get it done. And what is perfection? Well, it's God. God is perfection in my book. Hey, told you the cats wanted my attention. Nobody wants to see. Ow, mother. All right. All right. Give me a second here. All right. All right. He didn't get me too bad. That really fucking hurts. So, all right. Well, I'm going to do this one-handed now. All right. Fucking scaredy cat. Oh, and he got a foot in the ass. Don't fret about it. I got my revenge. Asshole. He's so scared of everything. All I did was grab him and he flipped out. So, yeah. You guys remember when I was wearing that finger brace forever? Yeah. That was his fault. He looks all nice and innocent, but he's not. He's the Eddie Haskell of our cats, which means he acts real nice, but when he's not around anybody, he's an asshole. That really hurts. It does. Okay. Well, I ain't hungover. See, gotta have something. What what page were we? Did I say we're? So I was talking about God being perfection, right? So, um, and that's what I'm utilizing here now. Is Dion? What am I? What am I? Because progress, not perfection. Let's start there, right? And I agree with that. Well, what are we saying? I'm saying I am not perfect, but I'm willing to make progress. But if you don't have an ideal, if you don't have something to seek, if you don't have something to reach for, then progress is off the table. There won't be any progress. Progress to what? In order to make progress, we have to have what? Goals. There has to be something obtainable. Kinda. Is perfection obtainable? Yes. I'm going to be perfect one day. That'll be the day I'm dead. I'll be dead that day, and then perfection will happen. So one day it's going to happen. Until then, I'm going to do everything I can in order to reach for perfection, knowing I'm not going to make it and being okay with that. It's kind of like my anger. I know how dangerous I am. I know exactly how dangerous I am. And then I pull it back. It's the same concept, except I'm using perfection. So what is perfection? Well, it's God. It's the principles of AA. That is the perfection. Those are the things that we're going after. But you need something. Otherwise, you're going to be chasing nothing, and then nothing will come out of it, right? Well, we do this by searching fearlessly and thoroughly for our character defects. Okay? Because in order to change, we got to know what's wrong. We also need to find out what it is that we are doing right. Right? So let's get to page 666 here. I really feel like I should do something about this first, but yeah. Some who feel they have done well may dispute this, so let's try and think a little further. Now, what they're talking about there is the paragraph before, when we alcoholics say, no, I will never get rid of that character defect. We kind of had this conversation at Grassroots last night about amends, that there's some amends that, we're not sure we really want to make. We just can't draw the final line of no, never. That's where things get awry. That's where things start to get a little weird. It's when we say no, never. There are people in my life that I do not want to make amends to. They are still on my list. I have not reached out. But if God puts them in my life, I will be making those amends. I'm also not going to argue with God. Courage. I need to find courage. We were talking about last night, and I did a little double dipping, and my thought was, where's God in all this? Where does God stand in this? Have we talked to God? Have we prayed? Have we talked to another person? Have we done this? If not, then Dion is not accountable, and therefore probably not a good idea, whatever it is that I'm thinking. Right? So it's the no, never. I will never do that, or I will never take care of that. Well, what if God puts it in front of you and your refusal and your defiance comes up? You're going to have a really bad day, week, month, maybe even a year. That'll be the consequence to that. All right. So you got to be willing. I'm going to tell you now, God has never, ever put me in a place where things were extremely dangerous. I did that shit. I did that. I'm the one that went to sordid places looking for companionship and approval. He did not put me there. I did that of my own free volition. All right. Practically everybody wishes to be rid of the most glaring and destructive handicaps. Yeah, the ones that everybody else sees. Quit worrying about what everybody else sees and get down to what it is that you think about you. Right? No one wants to be so proud that he's scorned a braggart, not so greedy that he is labeled a thief. See, there it is right there. You don't want to be labeled. You don't want to be this. You don't want to be that. but you're out there doing it. Okay. We seem to be more interested in our reputation of what other people think of us than what we think of us. And that needs to change. I'm sure you see me different than I do. It depends on who you are, where you're at in life, what you've listened to, how well you've gotten to know me. A lot of people think I'm a guru, that I'm a lot of things that I don't think that I am. But if you want to think that, go for it. And if you're getting something out of it and it's making your life better, I'm not going to fucking argue with you, because in fact, I am a guru in this. But there's got to be a level of humility, does there not? That doesn't mean guru doesn't equal perfection or knowing everything. It means that I have studied this a lot, that I have put a lot of time into this. A lot. I've educated myself. I went and studied. I searched for facts. I go to meetings. I create things in my neighborhood. These are the people in your neighborhood. Right? No one wants to be angry enough to murder, lustful enough to rape, gluttonous enough to ruin his health. No one wants to be agonized by the chronic pain of envy or to be paralyzed by sloth. Of course, most human beings don't suffer defects at these rock bottom levels. Most human beings don't suffer these defects at these rock bottom levels. This would be an appropriate place to say rock bottom, because we know how I feel about rock bottom. But that is an appropriate place to put that word. See? Just regular English. This is where people take shit and convert it into what they would think it is. But this is the only time it brings it up. Okay? When it talks about rock bottom in the book, it's talking about our emotions, the fact that, or our character defects and the abuse of them. That's the rock bottom levels we're talking about. Your drinking has no rock bottom. That denotes something bad, but I'm not going to get into that. We who have escaped these extremes are apt to congratulate ourselves. Yet, can we? Yeah, I was pretty proud of the fact that I'd taken care of a lot of my anger issues. Then about 2 months, about a month and a half ago, I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I need to work on my anger more. It's coming. I can see it. See, it wasn't finished. I wanted to congratulate myself way too early on it, but it wasn't completed. It may never be complete. Right? Can I congratulate myself for the progress that I've made? Sure. But in no way am I carrying around a flag that says I'm anger free. Because I'm not. I got angry this morning. People get on my nerves, and I allow them to do that. After all, hasn't it been self-interest, pure and simple, that has enabled most of us to escape? Not much spiritual effort is involved in avoiding excesses which will bring us punishment anyway. But when we face up to the less violent aspects of these very same defects, then where do we stand? We must recognize now that we exult in some of our defects. We really love them. I did. Oh, yeah, I did. Walking around saying how much I hate people. It's a running joke on how much Dion hates people. I quit doing that because I don't want people. And I just said it earlier. Well, people irritate me, but it's because I allow it. I allow that. That's the difference now. Before, I even have a shirt that says, I used to be a people person, but people ruined it. I don't wear that shirt no more. I don't wear it. I'm not that person anymore. I used to be, and I used to exult in that. What was it doing? Well, it was making me feel superior to other people. You're all dumbasses. What was I doing? I was calling people the same names that I was being called growing up. Dumb, stupid. You know, I could go on with the list, but I'm not going to, because I'm not going to call myself names. All right. So who, for example, doesn't like to feel just a little superior to the next fellow, or even quite a lot superior? Isn't it true that we like to let greed masquerade as ambition? A lot of ambition going on out there, huh? But it's a masquerade for greed. To think of liking lust seems impossible. But how many men and women speak love with their lips and believe what they say so they can hide lust in a dark corner of their minds? We don't want to admit this shit. It's kind of embarrassing. But you don't have to go out to the whole world and admit it to everybody. In this case, you, God, and your sponsor is good enough. Yeah. That's good enough. But you don't need, you might use some of the things from your past in order to help somebody else out, but you settled those things. You know, I don't walk in blame and shame and guilt and the bullshit anymore. I don't do that. I am no longer the victim. No. I stepped out of my own victimhood. Did people do things to me? Yes. Do people still do things to me? All right. There's a person who's really ticking me off right now. They're not seeing where they were wrong in something. And I don't think anybody in the group really wants to say anything. And they're blaming everybody else in the group at the moment. And, and I'm not sure how to say it because I'm getting angry. And I know that if I reply right now, it's not going to be the best answer. It might not be the answer that God wants. Because where's God in all this? All right. And even while staying within conventional bounds, many people have to admit that their imaginary sex excursions are apt to be all dressed up as dreams of romance. Yeah, I wouldn't call any of it romance. No. Self-righteous anger can also be very enjoyable. In a perverse way, we can actually take satisfaction from the fact that many people annoy us. For it brings a comfortable feeling of superiority. See? They just explained to me right there. Gossip barred with their anger. A polite form of murder by character assassination has its satisfactions too. For us too. What is that? When you say something and it goes over their head and they're going to figure it out in about 10 minutes. Oh, you love that one, don't you? Yeah, you do. You're an alcoholic. Why do we do that? Because we have low self-esteem. That's why we do that shit. We don't have, our self-esteem is shit. And once you work on your self-esteem, these character defects will start to fade. But if you think that your character defects are going to be lifted from you like the obsession, I'm sorry, but you'll be wrong. These are human emotions. The character defect is the action that we take, not the emotion. Right? It's the action that we take from the emotion. That is the character defect. Right? So, here too, we're not trying to help those we criticize. We're trying to proclaim our own righteousness. When gluttony is less than ruinous, we have a milder word for that too. We call it taking our comfort. We live in a world riddled with envy. We live in a world of envy, riddled with envy. To the greater or lesser degree, everybody is infected with it. From this defect, we must surely get a warped yet definite satisfaction. Man. God, what sucks is they continue to call me out here. They continue to call me out right here in front of God and everybody. They're calling me out. All right. So, about 5 years ago, there are a group of people that decided to do a lot of shit talk about Dion and create some division. And I was taking stuff away from them. And I was doing it legally and with facts, is that right? And I would get envious that they were making money hand over fist, but they weren't doing anything. Right? Even now I'm trying to justify it, right? See? It can't be helped. So what are we gonna do? What are we doing? And for a while I envied it. Well, this year everything's going to shit for them because the last 5 years they weren't doing things the right way, and I'm getting some pleasure out of it. I am getting some satisfaction. I am getting justice. I feel justice for it, and it's making me happy. And that's not quite cool either. At the same time, I have to take responsibility for my actions, and they need to too. I said tutu, not like doo doo or duty, but the cat is back. He's a good looking kitty, isn't he? It doesn't hurt anymore. So, oh, to a greater or lesser degree, everybody's from this defect. We must surely get a warped yet definite satisfaction. Else, why would we consume such great amounts of time wishing for what we would have not, rather than working for it, or angrily looking for all attributes we shall never have, instead of adjusting to the fact and accepting it? And there's the answer. I had to adjust to the fact and accept it. I don't know that I should really get joy out of other people's demise, but I do appreciate the fact that they can no longer abuse people. All right. I will also let you know this. I think people can change. I think some of these programs and the setup of these programs are great ideas. It's the people running them that tend to take it to where it doesn't need to be. And if they made some changes, I would love it if they stayed in the field, if they were doing the right thing. Absolutely, I would. Yeah. It's the intention. And how often we work hard with no better motive than to be secure and slothful later on. Only we call that retiring. Consider too our talents for procrastination, which is really sloth in 5 syllables. Nearly anyone could submit a good list of such defects as these, and few of us would seriously think of giving them up, at least until they caused us excessive misery. Now, what if you decide to work on a character defect before it causes you misery? You can do that too. You don't have to wait. All right. If you walk around and say, I learned everything the hard way, you know what's going to happen? You're going to learn everything the hard way. Quit saying it. Solutions come to me easily. And they do. I know it sounds weird, but solutions come to me easily. I look for facts and things and base them off of that. See, it's just a different way of talking to yourself. But if you run around and say, I always learn things the hard way, then you will always learn things the hard way. You're predicting your future. You're telling your brain what to do. Make it really, really hard so we can work on this brain. That's an alcoholic brain. Some people, of course, may conclude that they are indeed ready to have all such defects taken from them. But even these people, if they construct a list of still milder defects, will be obliged to admit they prefer to hang on to some of them. I'll admit it. I've been admitting it this whole time. I've been holding on to some. That self-righteousness one, right? It's because I always felt lesser than everybody. And gosh, it feels good that I'm on the top of the heap, or thinking I am, huh? Well, it ain't going to last long. It's not going to last long. Life is going to happen, and then I'll get all upset, and right. So admitting that you have them is a good start. Are you going to get through all of them today, in a week, in a month, in a few years? No. And that's okay too. You're going to learn as you live life. The whole point of this is a design for a living, not a class. AA is not something you're finished and done with. Or let me rephrase that. Recovery is something you are not finished and done with. Michelle and Heather are both saying they say the same thing. I learned everything the hard way. And I'll tell you where that came from. It came from your parents. They sat there and told, well, you just learn everything the hard way, don't you? Yeah, they drove it into you, and now you believe it. Yeah. All right. Therefore, it seems plain that few of us can quickly or easily become ready to aim at spiritual and moral perfection. We want to settle for only as much perfection as will get us by in life, according, of course, to our various and sundry ideas of what will get us by. So the difference between the boys and the men, because step 6 is what separates the boys from the men, the people that are serious about doing this and the people that are not, is the difference between striving for a self-determined objective and for the perfect objective, which is God. There it is. What is step 6 about? It's about striving for perfection. It's about trudging the happy road of destiny. Heather says some of those character defects are as freaking, some wear those character defects as a freaking badge of honor, terminally unique-ism. I did that. I was like that. Man, I'm an alcoholic through and through, man. I got called an alcoholic when I was 14. I'm like, I will show you alcoholic, and God, I was good at it. I was one of the best alcoholics out there. See, we can take anything and brag about it. Look at you, a good alcoholic. Yes, it is. Yes, it's so good. It's a good alcoholic. We need something to strive for, man. No, you ain't gonna be perfect. Well, you never know. Why can't life be perfect right now? What's so wrong that life isn't perfect right now? I'm sure I could sit here and list some of the personal things going on with me. But at this moment in time, right here, right now, why can't it be perfect? It is perfect. The world is perfect exactly the way it is. Isn't that weird? This moment in time, it's perfect with its imperfections. Nothing is perfect until it's imperfect. So you have to be imperfect to be perfect. Otherwise, you have nothing to go for. You will get so lonely, you will just fall off the face of the earth, man. Yeah. Many will at once ask, well, how can we accept the entire implication of step 6? Why, that is perfection. And God, we alcoholics will search for anything in order which to argue with or barter with or whatever. Okay. Quit worrying about whether the chicken or the egg came first. Stop with all the philosophical ideas that you think that you have. Get on board and reach for the perfection of God. Strive for it. This sounds like a hard question, but practically speaking, it isn't. Only step 1, where we made 100% admission we were powerless over alcohol, can be practiced with absolute perfection. The remaining 11 steps state perfect ideals. And I need those perfect ideals because they are much better than mine. Much better than mine. Because if you're going to get rid of character defects, well, you got to replace it with something, or what you have is an empty hole. You're going to have to replace it with something. Aha. Right? Fear is a great example. We tend to think that we're going to get less fear when really, no. You get more courage. You get more courage. Cart before the horse. Always. I'm an alcoholic. All right. The remaining 11 steps state perfect ideals. They are goals toward which we look and measuring sticks by which we estimate our progress. All right. Oh, Heather said that was a confession. You were talking about yourself. Good job. Yeah. It's okay. I tell you this, every human being has them. whether we're willing to take a look at them and change accordingly is something entirely different, right? So, seen in this light, step 6 is still difficult, but not at all impossible. The only urgent thing is that we make a beginning and keep on trying. Not asking for much, just everything. Oh, the paradoxes of the program. All right. Well, I'm gonna go tend to my wounded hand here. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't even hurt anymore. So, all right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I'm just glad there wasn't like blood gushing everywhere and stuff. All right. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.